It was a busy, busy, busy year. I think if you want to know about America in the age of Trump, there's one place to go to find out, and that's America. We went to a Trump rally in Houston in the sort of waning days of the midterm campaign. It is a show, and Donald Trump knows how to put on a show.
Ted's opponent in this race is a stone-cold phony.
As a journalist, we're kept in a pen in the middle.
They kept saying the fake news back here.
Then Trump makes a reference to the media out there, right? And he'll gesture to the pen. Suddenly, everything changes. The tone in the room darkens. And so, you know, how does that make our job more difficult? I mean, it's intimidating, right? It's an unsettling position to be in when all of a sudden the crowd in the arena looks at you, the media, in the pen and starts booing. And then the rally ends after an hour or something like that. And so we did what any, good news crew would do, is now we're released from the media pen, so we go out and let's talk to people.
Electrifying. He's, he knows how to move an audience.
It was great. I mean, that just was really the thing that we needed.
And people were, pumped up because they'd just seen Trump, but pleasant again, which again reminds me, and I think should remind all of us, that everybody who supports Trump, they're just Americans who happen to believe in this guy and the things that he says and stands for. But they're nice people.
Brett's assault on me drastically altered my life for a very long time.
When I think back to moments of the year, and I think of Blasey Ford just telling her story in such a believable way, to be contradicted by Kavanaugh, but then within a few days, well, we've decided that we can't get to the bottom of it really, but so blah, blah, bada bing, bada bang, he's in.
I take this office with gratitude and no bitterness.
That was an unusual, to say the least. I think what resonated with me and, millions of people is just what it must have taken for her to do that. How hard that was to do, knowing the fallout that would come from that. I don't think I'll ever forget it. It was remarkable.
And this is The National.
Tonight, residents of a tight-knit Florida community are face to face with the horror of a mass shooting, and the script is eerily familiar.
You live in the States long enough as a journalist, you're going to cover a lot of mass shootings. It's just the way it is. And I've covered my share of them in my time here. And so this year we had Parkland.
And like so many other such shootings, what has followed this one is outrage and despair.
If you do not stand with us by saying we need to pass common sense gun legislation, you have chosen death, and none of the millions of...
After Parkland, there was the rally in Washington. It was one of those unforgettable moments in this country.
I have a dream that enough is enough.
So in the days around that student rally after Parkland, we wondered, what about other people? And so we took a drive up to Baltimore, and we went to a high school in Baltimore. How many people here know somebody who's been shot? Raise your hand.
But a black person gets shot, do they do anything about it? No. Did we have a march? No.
And they said, and nobody marches for us. It's not in headlines. We're black. And so what goes through your head is like, what is going on here? Why isn't the whole country rising up to stop that? Is it because nobody cares? I don't believe Americans don't care about that. But people at that school in Baltimore believe that. And it's sad. It can be overwhelming at times trying to cover the news down here because it changes so quickly and there's so much. But I find that when you do your job...
Yes, sir, go ahead.
Thanks, Mr. President. It seems there was some give and take on both sides for this deal. I wonder what, as corny as it sounds, it's satisfying. I mean, if the job of journalists is to inform people, to inform voters, to inform the population so people can make better choices about what they do with their lives, how they vote, then you've done your job, and I think journalists can feel good about that. When you do that, I think you survive because truth rises.